Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Wealth Building for Dummies podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Demian, and we have Renji Matthew here with us as well. Today, we're going to be talking about how your health is your wealth. Over the last few weeks, was sick, under the weather, didn't have a chance to go to the gym, but today, got back into the gym, and I felt great after coming out of the gym. And Renji has an incredible streak going of how many days in a row he's been working out. And so we'll kind of dive into that, why he works out on a daily basis, what his workout includes, and like how it primes him for the day ahead as we both own and run our own business and we're entrepreneurs. So Renji, go ahead and tell us, what first of all, how many days in a row have you worked out?
Well, as of today, we're at 193 days in a row.
So 193 days, that's over half of a year, right? Have you been
Yep.
tracking? That's at least 6 months?
Yeah, that's over
Awesome.
6 months.
Cool. Now, I think we've talked about it before, and you're not doing anything crazy. You're not
No.
working out for an hour and a half, running 12 miles, but like you have a workout regimen that you kind of follow. So what does that look like for you?
Yeah, so for me, I used to be all into trying to lift as heavy as I can and, all this stuff. But what I'm doing now, it's all about functional training or just to be healthy, right? Functional, where I'm not hurting myself trying to pick up my son from the floor, right? So most
Yeah.
of what I do, it's not heavy, it's really lightweight, but it's all about reps because I'm trying to get it's more of endurance type stuff. And when I say 193 days, it's not like in the beginning, some of those days might be just a walk outside, a walk for a mile or whatever. So it's all about just getting your body moving for me. So it's as long as you get your blood flowing and you're moving, getting some sunlight, stuff like that, I think that's really all you need to do. So when it comes to functional part of it, I try to do movements that I think I'm going to use as I get older, more, like picking up stuff from the ground or, um, you know, whatever it may be, but I do a high volume of that. Like I'll pick two workouts and just do 100 reps. So I'm usually done with my workouts within 20 minutes or something every day, and that's pretty much it.
That's awesome. Do you work out in the morning or is it like in the middle of the day or the evening? Morning?
Morning is when I try to. I've done all times of the day, but I feel like I have the best energy if I do it in the morning. The longer I
Yeah.
keep it to go later, I get lazier, and I'm like, I don't need to. So if I get it done in the beginning and stuff, then I'm done with it. So
Yeah. I'm the same way. I like doing it in the morning and because I feel like it sets up my day. The rest of my day is I'm going to feel more energized. I'm going to feel better about myself.
yep,
And I think it just gives you the confidence. Like you got up, you already worked out, you're already ahead of the majority of the population, just as far as like activity wise.
yep,
And then especially being an entrepreneur, like it primes your mind for the day of, pushing yourself past your limits where you may have stopped before. And that's a lot of times, what we do in the gym
yep,
as well. So I'm a firm believer, like
hmm
working out and athletics correlates over to business
yep,
perfectly. Like pushing yourself past your limits, stretching yourself, growing, always learning, always expanding. And it's the same exact way when you're working out in the gym. And muscles, actually, you're gonna know more about this than I do because you used to be a nurse, but your muscles are actually like ripping and tearing and failing when you're working them, right? And then
yep.
they build back and come back stronger.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly right. When you work out, when you're putting stress on the muscle, and the more stress you put on, it tears the muscle fibers. That's why you're sore the next day. It's because it's
Yeah.
torn. And now when you take the protein in and the nutrition and it's building back stronger on what ripped. That's why people get stronger and you get stronger and bigger and all that stuff as time goes on.
Yeah, that makes sense. And another way that that translates over perfectly to business is because in business,
Hmm.
you're going to have failures,
Yeah.
and in the gym, go to failure with some people's mindset when they're doing their reps,
Yeah.
or do one more rep. And the same thing translates over to business. And that's awesome. The
Yeah.
most, I think, impressive thing about what you've done is just built up the consistency. And that consistency then, just in one area of your life, I know is going to translate over to all the other areas, whether it's with your family or in your business and spiritually. And like I said, I work out in the morning, and I think we talked about this a little before the show, but like your first hour of the day in your morning really controls the outcome of what the rest of your day is going to look like. So let's take, a few minutes and just talk about our morning routines and what we do and maybe why we do it. And I'll let you go first with like what your morning routine looks like, and then we'll talk about like why you do specific things.
Yeah, so you're right. I think that first hour of the day controls a lot of your mindset and how you look at the view your day for the rest of the day. So my first thing I do as I get up is I pray. I pray. Then I try to do a gallon of water. So that's four of these a day. So in the morning, first thing after I pray is I drink one full thing of that, and then I try to read a couple of chapters from the Bible, and so sit and meditate on what I read a little bit. And then after that is when I work out. And when I work out, I'm listening to a podcast. Because for me, what I've noticed is I used to always listen to music when I was lifting, especially when I was lifting heavy and stuff like that. But what I've noticed is if I'm listening to a podcast where I'm learning something, if I'm focusing on the podcast and what they're saying, I'm not focusing on the struggle my body's going through as much. So I'm able to push a little bit more, and while I'm trying to focus on what they're saying. So it's kind of like controlling my mind to listen to what I want to listen to instead of focusing on the struggle my body's going through also. So there's a lot of that. And then one thing I've noticed also is the consistently working out helps me, my mindset too. Like you said, one of the reasons I like working out in the morning is I've noticed if I work out too late in the evening, like before I go to bed, now I have too much adrenaline and I can't sleep.
Yeah.
But if I work out in the morning, I have all that energy because I rested all night. Not only that, because I put my body through some kind of struggle in the morning. Now the rest of the day, when struggle comes through business or whatever, it's not as bad. It's like my body's already like, okay, I've already taken care of something stressful today. Now it won't be as stressful for the rest of the day, if that makes any sense.
No, it does. Because I'm with you. I do similar things. My morning routine usually consists of writing out my goals. I try to read 20 to 30 pages, and then I go to the gym about every other day. So I do have like a break between. But other than that, another thing we're doing recently is taking these ginger and turmeric shots. So
Yeah.
we're trying to stay healthy. We're trying to boost our immune system. And a lot of that comes through working out as well, staying active. And, with that, the reason we're doing it is because we've heard it before, your health will translate over to wealth. And especially, being in business, staying on top of your game at all times is important. It's vital. We're always trying to move the needle and expand and grow every single day.
Yeah.
And going to the gym helps us keep on top of that,
Yeah.
so that's awesome. Any other any other things that you wanted to kind of cover or go over? We talked about how health is wealth, the importance of a morning routine to set your mindset, get ready for the day. Anything else that you want to leave us with today for this podcast episode?
And I think you kind of touched on this. Something that I've heard a lot of successful people do is journaling, and I think you said you do that a little bit. I don't do it as much. I think it works differently for everyone, right? Because I've tried journaling, and I think instead of journaling, what I do is when I pray, I also pray for what I'm thankful for. I thank God for all the things I'm thankful for and stuff. So for me, when I talk to people that do journaling, it's a lot of what I'm thankful for, all this stuff too, and then goals I want to also. But for me, I do it a little different. So I think everyone's routine might be a little different, but like Kyle said, the main thing is trying to get into a routine every day of doing stuff because like we talked about before, winning that first hour of the day is it's not just you're doing stuff to get stuff done, but getting through some of those steps will help you be more confident throughout the day. Because like, okay, I got those things done. Now just moving on to the next thing. So it's like instead of you getting up and doing whatever you want and then getting to right to work, um, now at least this is for me. I'm not speaking for everyone, but for me, if I don't do those things and then I go into my work day or whatever, if things don't go my way, then I'm like, man, I feel like a failure for the day. But if I get all these things done in the beginning, I already feel like I've won the day. Now it's just keep moving, right?
Absolutely. And one thing you talked about in there was like writing down or praying and thinking of the things that you're thankful for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a part of my writing my goals down and journaling is writing down what I'm thankful for and focusing on gratitude. Because I'll tell you what, if you spend like 1 to 2 minutes deep in gratitude, your
Yep.
total outlook and mindset for the day changes. Because you cannot be upset, you cannot be angry when you're in a state of gratitude and thinking
Yep.
about the roof over your head, the fact that you get to eat, you get to drink water, the
Yep.
fact that you get to work out and you get to own your own business and control your own time. And like, those are some of the things that we take for granted sometimes. But yeah, we are really lucky to be in the position that we are and have the things that we do. And I have never been upset after spending a
Yep.
few minutes in gratitude and thinking about what I'm thankful for.
Yep.
Imagine the feeling you get around Thanksgiving time when you kind of start thinking about those. Most people do it,
Yep.
once a year. Imagine that feeling daily,
Every
every
day.
single morning to
Yep.
start your day.
Yep.
And I think that's a good note to end this on. And
Yep.
I hope you guys got something out of this. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is another episode of the Wealth Building for Dummies podcast, where we're going to talk about wealth, finance, mindset, well-being, and a little bit of everything in between. I'm your host, Kyle Demian. We have Renji Matthew here with us as well. If you guys want to follow us, you can follow me on TikTok at Academy is spelled with a K, AKADEMY. And on Instagram, you can follow me over at Kyle Demian, DEMYAN. Renji, where can they find you on social platforms?
Both TikTok and Instagram. It's called Renjamins, at Renjamins. Just like it's like Benjamin, but with my name. So that's where you can find me on both TikTok and Instagram.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, be sure to like, comment, drop your thoughts below. Let us know if this helped you out. Let us know what questions you have so we know, maybe what kind of content that we can film in the future to help you out. And lastly, be sure to subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in.
See you guys.